How are you? It is great to see you. And I am thrilled to come to you after getting out and getting my bike ride in this morning. I absolutely had a great time knocking out. I think I did 22 miles this morning. And let me make sure that's turned off. That is good. And 22 miles this morning, about 1,400 feet of climb. Had a friend with church that I went riding with. And just, good conversation, camaraderie, fellowship, exercise. It is it's one of those great things. And so let's see, we easier moderation. There we go. Right on. And as you know, I put up these things live in YouTube. So if you ever want to jump in or hit the chat, ask questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to jump in there. I try to keep an eye on that while I'm talking to you guys. And as I was riding today, and as I was mulling over things, I was thinking about this conversation I had with my daughter last night, and we were talking about the Republican National Convention, and we had seen some things, and she was like asking questions that are good questions for a 15, almost 16-year-old to ask. And it's I never thought in my lifetime we'd be having a conversation about socialism in our country. I never thought we'd be having a conversation. Like, I didn't think we'd ever have to have a vote about whether it was okay to come to the country without documentation. I didn't think, and I don't know if you want to label that as racism or not. It's not racism. That's fact. It's there are so many people that come and follow the rules and fill in the paperwork and wait the time and go to school and pass the history test and do the naturalization process. It's like there's so many people that do it right that, how do you just turn a blind eye to people doing it wrong and then to listen to ideas about paying for it for them? It's just it's a very strange process for me to think about. And so as I try to wrap my head around what's happening and things that were, and just when I think, hey, that group over there must be nuts, they can't be that nuts because they've got supporters. People are backing them up. Either that or they don't have supporters and we're all just being bamboozled, right? But I'm seeing so many things that don't align with critical thinking or don't align with the values that we were raised with as citizens of a free country, right? And so, it was weird. Anyway, that stuff was on my mind quite a bit. And I was having that conversation with my daughter. And then we were talking about leadership, and we were talking about different networks and avenues that I've been able to plug into recently. And my daughter is seeing this, and it's kind of cool that she does. She started reading some of the John Maxwell books, and she's asked me why the John Maxwell certification was important to me. She's asked me why I made the sacrifice to become John Maxwell certified. She's, and so we've had these, deeper conversations about what drives dad, what makes dad want to do certain things, and why is that value established, and why is it a benefit to the family. And it's been really, really cool to watch that unfold. The other thing that's been kind of cool to watch unfold is, for her, she's seen daddy get up and go to an office for the last few years. And this year I haven't done that. This year I've been here. She has seen me get up at 3 a.m. and, turn on the computer and start working. She has seen me, network with people in Spain, France, Ireland, India, Australia, and she is beginning to realize, like, that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take, right? Put in the extra, be the leader, execute, have relationships with people and leverage those relationships, from a giving perspective. I mean, if you listen to Gary Vaynerchuk at all, Gary Vaynerchuk will say, I never want to be on the wrong side of the relationship. I never want to be on the over receiving side. I always want to be the one giving, right? And I think about my relationships and I think about what I try to do there, and it's true. It's like I always want to make sure I'm adding value to people. And while I value the relationships, I always try to be on the plus side of the giving. And it could be effort, it could be time, it could be helping someone write, publish, edit. I'm not afraid to throw my back into it. We're going to go help a friend move this weekend. We've got an older couple that we're friends with, and my friend's mother-in-law passed away. And so we're going to go and clear out her old apartment, just clean everything up, get everything out of there. We have to remove all the stuff within 30 days or something like that. But, I told him, instantly I was like, dude, I got a pickup truck. I got a strong back. Let me know what you need. I don't want you up there doing the stuff yourself. Right. And that's what we're called to do. We're called to add value to others. Speaking of like networks and relationships and adding value to people, there's one that I really want to give a big shout out to. If you guys are plugged into my other channels, you'll see that I've been promoting on behalf of Andrew Eggleton. I say Eggleton. I think it might be Eggleton. I'm not sure. But Andrew Eggleton, he runs that group on Facebook called The Heart of Presenting, and they're doing a live Facebook challenge. He is a master at these Facebook challenges. I've participated in one of them, and I've kind of chimed in or, spectated from afar on another challenge. And I've been involved with some of his members. I've friended them. I've done all that. He's in Australia, and he's got people all over the world that jump into these things. He's talked all over the world. He's been to Greece, he's been to Fiji, he's been to Hawaii, he's been to Japan. And he teaches people the art of presenting, and he's so good at it. The first time I saw him present, I was like, man, this cat's out there. This is not me, and then I realized, I looked at the effect he was having on the rest of the room. And I said, whether it's me or not, there's certain characteristics that I need to grow into, right? So I learned from watching him that although it's not me, it's not my style, and I don't want to be inauthentic when I present, I still want to be authentic, but there are facets of presenting, let's say, that I could develop or add or continue to develop. I talk about personal development all the time, right? I talk about being willing to change. I talk about the book Leadership that we covered earlier in the year. So, when I take all of that into consideration, that's when I tell myself, you know what, I can add a couple of things in. And the last public talk I did was just last week. I just did a public talk last week on the Facebook group, the Empowerment Retreat. So if you go to the Empowerment Retreat, you'll see that I did a talk there on overcoming, leading, and growing, right? And so I had about an hour or so, talked about overcoming, leading, and growing. And there was a couple of things that I kind of put into that presentation that were actually the result of working with, consulting with, and networking with Andrew. So he's got a new Facebook challenge coming up, and I couldn't be more emphatic to tell you that this is the thing that you if you have anything about presenting or doing things in front of people, you want to get into Andrew's group and you want to see what's going on there. Now I'm sure he's got, coaching and consulting and all kinds of things that he can pack on to the back end of that. But you know what? At least take the first step and get yourself into the Facebook challenge and see what kind of value you can glean off of that. Because I'll tell you that it has helped me quite a bit, and it's okay to have, gaps in your speech. It's okay to, and went through these things about being authentic and be your regular self and be like today, I'm in a great mood. I'm in an awesome mood, right? I got up early. I got a little bit of work done. Like I said, I start working usually about 3:30 in the morning now. And by 6:15, I was on my bicycle. I was knocking out 22 miles. And now I'm talking to you guys. So far I've had a great day. I'm 6.5 hours into a day, and it's been super productive, and I got a whole day in front of me yet. So that said, you will see a newsletter coming out. The interview that was put out with me yesterday, that was, let me see if I can find a link to that post haste. I'm going to have to put it in the comments to this video, but I was on a video with a Michael Butler. Michael Butler interviewed me last week. He published the video yesterday, and I saw it up on LinkedIn yesterday. So Michael Butler published that. And then of course I shared it on LinkedIn. I've also put it into my Facebook Facebook channels, and I'll put a link to that YouTube video in the description to this YouTube live as well. And man, what a hoot. so much fun being the guest and just having a good time and answering questions and trying to add value along the way, motivate people to, move forward with this hybrid training example that I've been working on. And so some people are really focused on web building. Some people are really focused on speaking. Some people are really focused on, curriculum development. Some people are really focused on e-learning design. And my thought on this, especially with COVID, because I was doing this before COVID, but now that COVID's here and it's not going anywhere, now that COVID's here, and people are working in a different way and they're working more remotely, now more than ever is the time to leverage this hybrid speaker trainer channel that I've been developing, right? And the idea here is before I get people online, before I get people in a live session, how cool is it if I can build a community or plug them in as a corporate group into some content that serves as that base foundation, right? So then they can look at that, they can review it real quickly and they can go, oh, well, we're going to be doing this live meeting with Kurt Von Onen, and he sent me this thing on goal setting, or he sent me this thing on leadership, or he sent me this thing on fitness, or he sent me this thing on, weight loss or whatever. They can review the material. And then when we jump into the live, I can do my presentation and everybody's able to kind of zoom in to the content, right? They're able to get to the core of the content much more quickly because they've had the ability to have a preview before getting into the live session, right? And these blended models have worked really, really well before COVID, but it has taken it to a whole new level post-COVID. And so I've been working really, really hard on trying to communicate this to people, trying to get them to see the benefits, and trying to get them to understand that if they need to get their stuff online at that capacity, I have channels that they can plug their stuff into and run their members through that, right? They can lease space for me, or I can build them their own platform, right? And if they've got the content, we can do it really, really quickly. If they still need content developed, I have the ability to do that. So it's been really fun. I've been enjoying the opportunity that COVID has brought to us. I know that the time to grow has taken longer than I wished for, but we are super, super close to blowing the bubble open on so many things all at the same time that it makes it really, really, really quite interesting. So I think that's it for today, guys. Get a chance to check out The Heart of Presenting on Facebook. The Heart of Presenting with Andrew Eggleton, fantastic guy. And if you go into his group, tell him Kurt sent you, right? Because it's nice to pat each other on the back. But he just had a baby, so his son's name is Leo. If you tell him to give Leo a squeeze, he'll know that probably came from me, because I always say that, hey, give Leo a squeeze for me. And super nice guy, great content. You'll come away with some kind of value added to yourself. And he's got a great community with people that really support each other. So that makes it a lot of fun too. And then know that we've got the interview that I just released. That'll be in the notes here. And I think that's it. Power Sport Academy's rocking. Power Sport Academy is moving. I just put up 4 new pages yesterday in the Power Sport Academy. So that's working really, really, really well. And if you own a motorcycle dealership and you're not into the Power Sports Academy yet, you need to be. And I'll leave it at that. You guys have yourselves a great, blessed day, and enjoy yourselves.